What is going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at the DX-9 Invisible. And if you can't tell, this is our Mirage. And, yeah. So, I'm gonna come right out and say it. I love this guy. I think he is awesome. He is so Mirage, it's almost painful. That said, I actually would rather see this guy repainted as Slicks than Crasher, like DX-9 is supposedly doing, but I do understand why we're going for Crasher. Now, I also want to say that, from my understanding, there's a number of reviews out there that people don't seem to like this guy. Keep in mind, I'm not sponsored, so I'm not trying to sell you this toy or anything like that. I really don't care if you buy it. But yeah, I really like him, and I don't know, watch other people's reviews, see what they have to say. You know, compare it to what I'm going to show you here. I'm going to put Skullface's review down here. He's got a pretty good review on it. He's very fair for his toy. We've been discussing it a lot. I don't know if the differences he has is because of the way things work on this toy or what. So, you know, I'm looking forward to when he actually watches the transformation part of this review, if he's done everything the same way. From what I've heard with text, he is. So keep in mind that mine, I think, is completely awesome. Perhaps mine is an outlier, though. Yeah, take that for what it's worth. That said, rolls like a champ. Has nice rubber tires on a plastic rim. You could peel the tire off if you really wanted to, like you did on old Mask toys, I'm sure. Cockpit here, you can fit an MP character in there if you really want. Don't really care. Beautiful, yeah. The chrome is perfectly placed. Very few repro labels are needed. I like how they made it Jitanes to not put any copyrights, but you know what? It's close enough to Cetanes for me, so yeah, I'm good with that. Now, I haven't been doing this for a while, but I did want to mention the box, because whoever is doing this artwork on the DX-9 boxes, it is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't seen the Psykill one, go back and take a look at, what the heck they call him, Salmore? My Salmore review? It's the cover picture for that, and this one was the cover picture for this. Like, I would love to get these on, like, you know, 8x10, you know, pieces of paper that I could put in a very small frame so I could fit a whole bunch of them around my office, because, man, these are awesome. I don't know who's doing it, but keep up the good work, whoever you are. Anyway, let's get back to the toy and we'll do some size comparisons. I'm only bringing out a couple. You can compare it to the other MP cars by comparing videos that Sideswipe is in. Overall, a little bit longer than Sideswipe, about the same overall width. Very much scales nicely with your Masterpiece cars, so not a problem there. And here's the year of the Horse Optimus Prime that I repainted, all his gold, for comparison. Looks great next to Optimus. What else could you want? Alright, so here we have our... Alright, so here we have DX-9's Mirage in his bot mode, and have you seen a more screen-accurate version of Mirage? I mean, they captured that invisibility mode perfectly. Alright, that was pretty corny. I guess this is actually Mirage in his robot mode. No problems. So here we've got our DX-9 Mirage in his bot mode, and as you can see, nobody's more perfectly captured his invisibility mode than DX-9. Actually, no, the toy's right here, and he's just sitting off screen. Sorry for the corny joke, guys, but it had to be done. So this is Mirage. You can see he stands just fine. I mean, he does have, because of the wheel and it not being flat, he is more tilty on the back, but typically mine stands just fine. Capable of a variety of poses too. I mean, I even had him putting most of his weight on the back, and assuming you kind of rotate things just right, like, yeah, it wasn't a problem to hold him up there. Whoops, I opened this panel in the process apparently. But yeah, it can be done. He's, yeah, mostly leaning backwards now, and he's still holding just fine. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with standing. other people do. I get that. So watch other people's reviews and see if they're just transforming it incorrect or if it's a issue with these little pieces that kind of work on a little bit of an interesting way, and make your own opinion from there. But I love this guy. He's awesome. I have no complaints. In the box he comes with the shoulder cannon, which just like all the other MPs pegs right into the slot up here. Looking good, Mirage, looking good. And then he also has his gun here. Unfortunately, no tab on this gun, so he doesn't like firmly hold it, but then my Sideswipe, who does have a tab, doesn't really firmly hold his gun either. I mean, it's not wobbly. So, in that regard, it's fine for me. Alright, so let's do an articulation check on this guy. The head is on, kind of looks like a ball joint, hard to tell. Let's see if we can spin this all the way around. Yeah, it's definitely a ball joint in there. It's pretty stiff. It's not bad though. Shoulders, you got this, well, you got one problem that the wheel's right here, but you can articulate it out of the way to get a nice range of motion out of there. Other than that, you do have this hinge joint here, coming to the elbow. Swivel there. Ratchet. It feels like a ratchet. Yeah, it's definitely ratcheting, it's just a very soft ratchet. Coming down to the wrist, you saw it was on a ball joint, and of course the fingers are that, you know, 4 for the price of 1 movement. You do have a waist. The waist gets a little bit ridiculous if you go sideways. I mean, that just doesn't look right, but reasonably he looks fine with a little bit of twist here and there. Just don't go too extreme. Down to the legs, it is the hinged, nice friction hinge here, and swivel here. Tough enough that I think he'll be fine in the long run. I don't see any problems. Coming down to the knee, you do have the knee joint here, and then you do have the lower knee joint down here, but it's not really meant to bend there because that's the in the car, but you can get just that little bit of extra without popping that back panel open. And then coming down to the foot, you do have this chrome piece on a swivel here, which doesn't really help too much, and it doesn't tend to look all that good. It's nice for just a little bit of extra support when you need it, but yeah, it would have been better if the whole wheel actually rotated with it. If this whole thing rotated down, it'd be more solid that way. So that's the articulation. It's pretty standard. You can see his shoulder cannon moves if you move the shoulder, but yeah, whatever. One thing I wanted to point out here is he does have a more G1 look you can make. You can actually take that out, and this actually mimics the cartoon a little bit more closely, and kind of bulks up his silhouette a little. I know some people have been complaining that when you put him next to, you know, your other masterpieces here, that he feels a little skinny and stuff, which, whatever, he's different. They don't have to all be the same, but yeah, you can leave that out and you can bulk him up, and he kind of gets that G1 vibe even stronger in this way. So while we have Sideswipe out, let's go ahead and bring in some of the other masterpieces. Here's Wheeljack, here's Prowl, here's Bumblebee, and of course, Optimus Prime, for reference. So one other thing I want to address before we get out of here is that I've heard a lot of people say he's an updated version of the Classics mold. And here is our Classics mode. And undoubtedly, there are things that work the same. The shoulder swiveling is similar. The way the hands kind of fold in is similar. This double jointed leg is similar. But it takes the stuff that's really worked to make a convincing race car and actually make a robot that is of a fairly substantial size. Because if these just simply pulled out instead of this double jointed folding mechanism, this would be a really short toy. And yeah, so they take all this stuff that worked from this toy and integrated it here, and then definitely have improved upon it. I mean, we go from the back, you got those wide open hollows back there. This is all really, really loose. The proportions are absolutely terrible at the waist there. In car mode, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but this thing doesn't hold together very well. Well, let me rephrase that. The back holds together, but when it comes to actually putting the front spoiler in the car and stuff like that, doesn't really work right. So this is a good mold for its time, but if this is simply an upgraded version of the Classics mold, it is so drastically improved upon. I suppose maybe it would have been nice to get these heel spurs for just extra stability down here, as opposed to, you know, just the wheels here. I really don't understand why they didn't put a little extra peg that sticks out here, because in car mode, this would just be like an extra little, you know, heel spur holding them forward that, you know, would be negligible in this car mode. But, yeah, this is definitely... It takes cues from Classics, but it blows the Classics out of the water for sure. So, yeah, like I said, I would go ahead and check out other reviewers, see what you think. Especially be careful with these wheels, see how they're transforming it, if they've done the same thing. Mine has no problems that I can speak of. I really like this guy, and I am quite happy to put him on the Masterpiece shelf. Paintwork, the extra chrome bits, everything is just really solid. My only complaint is this little panel not being filled in. It's such a small little thing on this otherwise, in my opinion, perfect figure. Okay, so I was about to go in the outro and I said perfect figure. Again, it's not perfect, these. And you could have improved these so it's a little bit more stable, but I don't have the problem most people seem to be having with getting him to stand. So, he's not perfect, but he is great. And this and something a little bit more here on his heel would have made him absolutely perfect in my opinion. So, this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next week.